Hey everyone, today we are going to be writing a rhetorical précis. So let's get started. In your first sentence, you're going to need to have a lot of the information with the author's name, the genre, title of the work, publication date, rhetorically accurate verb, and a clause that shows what is the author's main argument or what is that main thesis statement. So you see here in his I Have a Dream speech given during the March on Washington for Jobs and Freedom on August 28th, we have the title, we have what genre this is, it's a speech. We also have the date in the first clause. You'll put this all before the comma. Then we have Dr. Newton Luther King Jr., so the author, and then asserts. You need a rhetorical verb such as asserts, argues, defends, claims, that. And now this is going to be the thesis of what he is saying or whatever your author is saying. The hope for racial equality can only be achieved by placing value in character over skin color. This only is important because it makes sure that this is a thesis that can be argued. It's not informative, it's arguable. Now, the second sentence that we're going to go and write is an explanation of how the author develops and supports the thesis, usually in chronological order. So let's take a look at that. Here we have King first employs the use of parallel structure when he uses the similarly constructed phrases, manacles of segregation and the chains of discrimination, which provides a rhythm and balance for readers to follow, and by doing so, it strengthens the author's understanding of the restrictions of segregation. So in this, we have going chronologically, we have a specific device that King is using, followed by a quote, and also what impact it has on the reader and how that goes back and ties in with the thesis statement. The next sentence that we're going to look at is the third sentence, a statement of the author's apparent purpose, followed by an in order to phrase. So we want to think about why is the author saying what he is saying. So this one is going to be his purpose is to help build a culture of racial acceptance and to convince the U.S. legislature, this is a specific goal, of the injustices of racial discrimination and segregation in order to, so make sure that you have that in order to phrase, and what is the expected outcome that he is looking for. So in order to pass the Civil Rights Act that outlaws such behavior, schools and workplaces. So looking at the next one, we're going to look at a description of the intended audience. Who is supposed to listen to this? And how does the author establish his relationship with the audience? Or you can examine both of those things. So here we have, he seems to have an audience desiring jobs and freedom from segregation. So think about who the intended group of people is. Try to be as specific as possible. Don't just say he is speaking to Americans, but think about what are the clues in the text that showcases who is being discussed. In mind, because of his desire to appeal to those who are facing such issues, as seen through his frequent use of words like we and our. So notice we have evidence that shows who that intended group of people is. This helps, this is the purpose, to unify his audience together for one purpose and builds his credibility as the movement's leader. So this shows the relationship between him as the author and his audience and how he is able to develop a relationship between them. And then finally, we're going to have a fifth sentence that is a three-part thesis statement exploring the subject, the opinion, and a rationale. So what that would look like for us would be, in I Have a Dream, Martin Luther King Jr. utilizes parallel structure to expose the American injustices of racial discrimination and segregation in order to pass a civil rights act that outlaws such behavior in schools and workplaces. So I would love to see what you guys can come up with. Please let me know if you have any questions.